Against that man, Matt Ballon, who's been doing a great job for the Sea Eagles so far this season.
We are underway. It'll be the Eels to defend the southern end of Parramatta Stadium. The kickoff goes down to Brett Stewart. And it's Jason King who brings it back out to be tackled by Allgood and also Moi Moi. Ballon, a dummy half, comes across to Watmo. And they'll play it just outside the 20. Ballon to the right-hand side for Harrison. It goes to Keating and also Ben Roberts. They're about 15 away from the halfway line. Here is Pike working it up towards the mid-stripe. Solid set of 6 to open this one up for the Sea Eagles as Cherry Evans kicks it down the narrow side. Jared Hayne coming across, got tangled up with the ball for a moment there, brings it back out, and he's stopped by Harrison. And Dean Farah, who will play on the right-hand side tonight, with Steve Matai slotting back into the team on his favoured left-hand side. Good defence from Manly.
A nice solid start from the Sea Eagles, just what they were looking for. We're celebrating the 30-year anniversary of the 82 grand final here tonight, and I don't think the Eels have wanted to win more in that period. Good dummy from Keating, grabs a few cheap metres and a quick play the ball.
Roberts going back to Sando. And then they pop it again. A ball out the back from Rennie Matua, and luckily they come up with it. Sando was set upon straight away. Here is Roberts from inside the 40. The back three looking for a 40-20. The kick goes down the middle of the field. And it's Stewart who will bring it out to be stopped there by Morgan. And also Joseph Paulo. Matai from dummy half. Comes to George Tafua, playing in just his second game. He barely got some action last week on debut off the bench against the Dragons. He played the last 2 minutes or maybe 90 seconds of that one. So tonight officially game 2 in the starting side, preferred to Michael Oldfield, who was the 18th man for the Sea Eagles here tonight. Ballon goes back across to Watmo. And he'll walk it inside Parramatta territory as Ballon from dummy half comes back to Cherry Evans. Not a great kick, under some pressure there from Mitchell Allgood. And it bounced down to Ken Seo, who will bring it back out outside the Eels 20. A couple gone, no scorers yet here at Parramatta as Willie Tonga works it forward with a quick gain of about 8. Keating comes across to Hindmarsh. And he'll play it just outside the Parramatta 40. And he gets back to his feet. Now Roberts had Jared Hayne back on the inside. They got off to a fast start, Parramatta, 3 weeks ago here with Hayne in the side against the Warriors when they scored 2 tries inside the opening 10 minutes. But it's been downhill and steeply downhill from that point on for them. Now some pressure on Stewart to bring it back out from the end goal area. He was under the pump as well from both Blair and Willie Tonga, but he did well, and now Williams will play it at his own 10.
Well, it was a Willie Tonga kick there too. I don't think he was the man intended to kick it, but he realised it was late in the tackle count. He made Brett Stewart bring it out of his in-goal area. Let's see what Parramatta have got in defence. That's tackle 3, still short of the 20.
Watmo tipping it on for Matai, who went straight through them. Foran trying to push up in support. Hayne came to him and made a tackle just outside the Eels 40. It goes across to Foran, running at them. Sando hanging on to his collar. He had some help there as well from Morgan, and he'll play it 20 away from the Eels line. Cherry Evans putting it on the toe. What a great kick once again. Morgan comes up with it, and the Eels hang on, but some worrying signs off the back of the defence they showed last week against Penrith.
Well, a couple of ordinary missed tackles there from the Eels, allowing Manly. Quick spread here from the Eels.
Here is Blair going to Williams and going past him, coming to Stewart, who takes him to the ground, and Parramatta have it just inside the Manly 30. Tonga goes across to Roberts. Some enterprising play from both sides in these last 2 sets of 6. Here's Hayne. Staying alive, of course. Working back after missing the last 2 weeks with that knee injury, which Had everybody here at Parramatta in round 2 holding their breath. They'll have a couple more tackles here as Roberts plays it. Comes across to Paulo. Moi running at Cherry Evans and also Farah. 10 metres out on the last. It goes from Keating across to Roberts, who will chip it. They need a chaser. Somebody is there. They came down with it. Jared Hayne. That's who. Hayne is back, and Parramatta have the lead here tonight against the Seagulls.
Well, it didn't look good for Parramatta. An easy bust. Steve Maddai took Manly up the other end of the field, and then it was a quick push to the sidelines. Chase Blair found some open spaces. Too much speed for David Williams. As he looked to get around Brett Stewart, he tripped, he stumbled. And then Ben Roberts had an eternity to kick this. Manly slow off their line, and Jared Hayne has done a marvellous job there. That is brilliant from Jared Hayne. Hands up above his head, over the top of Kieran Foran to get the Eels on the board. What a confidence booster that would be.
Just a beautifully weighted kick by Ben Roberts. His leaping ability, the athlete that he is, Jared Hayne, able to bring it down, and Sando from close range should be able to make it a 6-0 scoreline.
Well, they just didn't recover, the Eels, after that Chase Blair break. They were always on the back foot. Hence Ben Roberts really just had time to pick his mark with the kick.
Sando's strike is a good one. It's 6-0. They're looking for a bit of a confidence build. Ben Ikin, they got one, and that set of 6 right there.
Look, this game's an opportunity for Parramatta to turn their season around. We'll see here their fullback, Jared Hayne, gets a great try. And the simple formula for them tonight is that their halfback, Chris Sando, and their fullback, Jared Hayne, need to be in this game up to their eyeballs. When they're at their best, I mean, you'd think Jared Hayne back in 2009, he was having 30 touches a game. And last year when Chris Sando was having that great run at the Rabbits, he was touching it 50 times a game. The more the fullback and the half are in this, the bigger chance Parramatta are.
I think you're exactly right, Ben. A little example of it right there. Jared Hayne involved. They have the opening points here tonight. All good playing it. Here is Paulo. Works it up to Watmo and Kite. He'll play it at the 20. Parramatta, the terrible record against Manly, the worst record against any opposition in the NRL. In fact, they win less than 35% of games against their not quite arch rivals, but they've played some big games over the years, of course, and this year is 30 years since the 82 grand final. And they're celebrating that game tonight as part of Heritage Round. Sando taking it to the line, playing at 5 on his own side of halfway. Roberts taking his time to set himself, put a good kick in. It'll float down to be taken by Tafua. He grew up playing his junior football just up the road at Wentworthville, which is where Parramatta had their final training run yesterday at Ringrose Park, while this particular venue was being resurfaced with 2,000 square metres of newly laid turf. They were working on it until sundown last night. Bureau will play it. Ballon comes across to Brent Kite to work it up to the halfway line. A bit more starch in this Parramatta defence from what we've seen after a bit of a scare early on with a Matai bust. They go back towards Matai now. Runs to the outside and jamming in. Kensio made a tackle, but the ball got away to Tafua, and he'll play it here just outside the Eels 20. On the last tackle, Cherry Evans puts it in the air, standing underneath it. Farah was there. Nobody really played at it. Roberts was thereabouts and didn't really contest it either. And now Blair in the tackle, feeds it back to Roberts, who steps away from one. Got a good ball back to Keating. He's got support. Does he ever? Jared Hayne. Good tackle by Stewart.
Oh, good football from Parramatta, offloading the ball, something that they haven't done all year.
Nobody has offloaded the ball on average fewer times per game than Parramatta. Their attack has been anemic. Their defence has been brittle. They certainly started on the right foot here tonight. Keating waits at dummy half. And it goes across to Sando. He wanted Matua to come back on the inside. He did, but he was set upon straight away there by Brent Kite. 2 plays left, and Sando will put it in the air. Chasing through, Moi. He puts some pressure on Stewart. It'll be a knock-on against the fullback. You can excuse him as well if he had a little look and saw who was coming.
Well, the kick was absolutely perfect from Chris Sando. It forced Brett Stewart to go from the field of play. Another blade of grass, and he takes that in the in-goal. Maybe with a little bit less pressure, but a terrific chase from Moi. And the Eels have backed up a good set off points. And forced a dropout. Another thing that they've been down on this year, their kicking game and their ability to build pressure.
The goal line dropout is a good one. 50 on the fly. And it's all good to bring it back. He was met there by Matai, Bura, and also King. Parramatta, plenty of possession to begin this game. The Seagulls under pressure here to defend their line as the home side look for a double-figure lead. Here's Keating just outside the 10. He'll play it to Paulo. They've got numbers and plenty of them to the left-hand side. Moi charging hard and straight. Stopped by Harrison and also Cherry Evans. Here's play number 5. They go back towards Sando. He shifts it on. Matua, a little skip. Comes to the line and almost went through it. Bura only just stopped him.
No dummy half.
Nobody there on the last tackle. Well, how does that happen? 3 metres out from the line and nobody at dummy half.
You could see that happening too. I don't know where Matt Keating was. No one made a move to get in there at dummy half. Matua went so close. They still had a tackle up their sleeve.
And Keating was back on the left-hand side where the previous play the ball had been. Ryan Morgan and a host of others were in the vicinity, and nobody went towards the ball. That tells you where they've been and where they may still be at as far as confidence or organisation, at least, the Eels here. Hayne stepping onto the old surface, if you like. It's the middle of the field, which has been completely relayed. You can see that new turf there where Blair is. And it pretty much extends from goal line to goal line, and it's about 20 metres wide as well. A couple of different strains of grass have been used. We'll see how it holds up here tonight. Tonga playing it. Comes across to Paulo, who goes inside the Manly 40. Hindmarsh. A close hand. Sando, though, out the back. Gets it. He'll kick, looking for it to sit down. It'll go touch and goal, though. And Manly will bring it back out to their 20.
Well, not a good result there. He kicked early. He kicked on the 4th tackle. He's done that. That's the second time he's done that in an attacking position. And when you kick on 4th tackle from that position in the field, you want it to get in the in goal. You don't want a cheap 20 metres.
Slow play the ball as now it comes to 4, and Matai stepping back on the inside of Morgan, making a long run once again. Stewart was there, pushing up, wants a bounce, gets a bounce, and dives over for Manly. They'll need to check it though. They don't. It looked as though Stewart was line ball at best with Matai when the kick went in.
Look, you might be proved wrong when you go back and look at the video, but gee, I thought it was worth a look at because I thought Stewart might have been in front of him. Parramatta having all sorts of troubles down that right-hand side. Ryan Morgan falling off the tackle of Steve Matai. Oh, I think they're right. I think they've got it right. It did look live that Brett Stewart might have been a yard in front of Steve Matai.
And given how often they check them in that situation, you thought for sure they were going to send it upstairs to our video referee tonight. Pat Reynolds in the box. They didn't require him, and well, it was a good call. They had a good look at it. There wasn't a whole lot in it, that's for sure.
Well, no surprise to see the Eagles go down that side. The Panthers exposed the right side for Parramatta last week. Ryan Morgan, who's been brought back into the side after Essie Tonga was named, but Morgan had all sorts of troubles last Friday night.
And with no Jamie Lyon, it's Daly Cherry Evans doing the kicking here tonight for the Seagulls. And after 15 minutes, it's 6 apiece. Nice play on the left-hand side once again, Ben. Boy, there wasn't much in that, was there, with Stewart only just onside.
Yeah, and there wasn't much in it. They're having all sorts of trouble down that right-hand edge. I mean, Parramatta's defence has been ordinary at best. You know, they're conceding the most points, the most tries, the most metres, second most line breaks, second most offloads, and missing the second most tackles in the competition. If they don't D up tonight, they are not going to win this one.
Well, Stephen Kearney made a switch too. It was Morgan and Chase Blair who had the problems last week. Chase Blair has been moved to the left side, Ken Seo over to the right, but it doesn't seem to have fixed many problems. A lack of communication on that side of the field.
They really have struggled in recent weeks. And unfortunately, defensively, they've picked up from where they've left off last week against the Panthers on that right-hand edge. Here's Kite to play it. It comes back for Cherry Evans. Better kick this time with more room to move, but Hayne is able to track it down on the full and brings it back outside the Parramatta 20. It's been an open, free-flowing affair. Some good stuff from both sides with the ball from inside their own territory. That was a lovely ball from Tafua for Matai in the lead-up to the try by Stewart. Here is Chase Blair, the 20-year-old. Plays it for Keating. Here's Paulo. Goose step on. Shimmy, he gets going, but he's stopped in the middle of the field there by Harrison and also Cherry Evans. They come across for Hindmarsh. Puts up his hand, of course, game number 311 here tonight. The only Eel ever to have played 300 games of first-grade football. Better kick, is it this time from Sando? Yes, it is. It stays in play. Tafua, in the end, does very well to make it back to the field of play. He was certainly under pressure. And now Stewart, with his speed, skipping back towards the sideline to pick up 10 valuable metres. Matai. What a return from a hand injury which has kept him out of action for the last month.
Yeah, there's no doubt Jamie Lyon's a loss, but certainly a timely return for Manly with Matai back in the lineup. Now, there's a good indication of the Eels' defence. They had them on the try line, and within 4 tackles, they're out to the 40.
One more tackle here for the Sea Eagles. And we'll go back Foran to do the kicking from inside the 40. Again, a lofted kick with a bit of pressure on Kieran Foran. Ken Seo it is who is back there. He brings it back out to the 30-metre line for Parramatta. A converted try apiece as Morgan goes away from Foran, only to run into some of the bigger boppers in Watmo and also Bura. Here is Hayne. Foran coming up quickly to shut him down. He sensed the urgency. You don't want to let Jared Hayne float across and build up momentum. Here he is, getting a nice ball popped out the back there by Joseph Paulo. Very involved is the fullback, and he's returned from this knee injury which kept him out over the last couple of weeks. And Manor is out there. 18 got a change by Stephen Kearney. Roberts, a long cutout ball. His favoured tactic on this left-hand side. And Blair goes to ground. They'll turn it over there at the 20.
Well, they've been happy to kick on 4th. That time they looked to run the ball with David Williams dropping back. The cutout ball from Ben Roberts. Just allowed the Manly defence to slide.
It's Mitch Allgood, the front rower, getting a break at the moment for Parramatta. As Kite works it up, a 4-man tackle. Put him on his back as well. It'll be a slow one. Matt Ballin thought too slow. No joy from the referees. It comes from Bura to Matai. And Nathan Hindmarsh tracking him down. 12 tackles already for Hindmarsh. As Watmo shuffles up to the defensive line, he'll take it to the halfway line and beyond. And they'll have one more play here as Ballin goes to Cherry Evans to kick. He won't find touch. In fact, it beats Jared Hayne. They'll be praying for this to go dead. Yes, it will, but only just. I don't know that he was intending to leave it cut it that fine, but he did. It worked out okay for him. And he runs back. Kieran Foran after that chase, and he's always the leading chaser. He's back turned, but they made the tackle on Jared Hayne all the same. Here's CO. And a penalty coming back through the play. The ball foreign, and Watmo, one of them made contact with the ball on the ground. It'll give the Eels a chance to come back on the attack.
Well, the first penalty of the game. Chris Sando will be looking to get this ball deep into Manly territory.
On the 30, boys.
Some of the injured players. Jamie Lyne hyperextended his elbow against the Eels, against the Dragons last week.
They'll be hoping it's only a one-week injury. Burer getting tangled up and will play the ball there. Here's Hindmarsh standing, offloading, giving it to Rennie Matua, who takes the metres available to him, and he'll take it down within 10 of the Manly line. Plenty of tackles up their sleeve. Here is Keating, links up with Sando. He shows it, goes himself, taken down in a good tackle, and had to be made also there. Darcy Lussick stopped him a couple of metres out. Now they go from dummy half. Too easy for Keating. Manly crack once again, and Parramatta are back in front.
Well, the offloads are great to see. There's been 5 already from the Eels. They're not averaging that for 80 minutes of football. They haven't been in the opening 4 rounds, and it has got Manly on the back foot. All the attention of Ben Roberts. No one thought about Matt Keating sneaking through, and it was Darcy Lussick who was caught out at marker. He's a clever dummy half, Matt Keating. As long as he's getting that momentum from his forwards, he's got a good ability to put them in some space. You can't forget about Matt Keating from that distance.
And now Chris Sando from beside the uprights. So again, make it a converted try. The difference here. They're certainly scoring points, the Eels, which has been a problem for them so far in 2012. And Sando makes it an even dozen after 22 minutes here tonight on Super Saturday. 12-6 to go back downstairs to bed.
You get the feeling that this first 20 minutes for the Eels has all been about emotion. They've had plenty of reason to be up for this game, but now it's all about mental toughness and attention to detail. They have to know and understand the key things they need to commit to for the remaining 60 minutes to bring this home. It's not going to be easy. The Sea Eagles are not going away.
Cherry Evans with the restart. No signs tonight. They're going to be going away here this evening, of course. They'll be determined to just shake off they were thrown at last week. Coins from the fans were thrown at them as they left the field. That's how much the fans thought of what was a shocking performance against Penrith. And that would make an impact, and so will the retirement of Hindmarsh. And they're fired up here tonight so far, despite leaking a couple of line breaks, but just the one try to this point.
That certainly, all that led to a better performance tonight. I don't think anyone was sure they were going to see it from the Eels, but that stings some pride, the way they've been treated and hammered in the press. Able to get their first penalty of the night. Too high from Nathan Hindmarsh.
All coming back.
Coming in looking for a wrapping tackle there on George Tafua, and a little bit too high and wrapping him up above the ball and caught him on the neck or the chin. According to the referee, take a look at it once again, just on the underside of the jaw there. Wasn't much in it, but a penalty ruled on by the officials. Penalty each. Here's Harrison playing it. Farre goes across to Cherry Evans, Watmo, Foran, Lussick, plenty of hands across the line. Burer, his hands betrayed him. Everybody getting up in the back line there. It was short passing in the extreme, and maybe a little bit too short there for the man who was a Parramatta junior.
Well, it looked like they had too many players involved in the movement. You're right, they were just shuffling the ball along the line. Jamie Buhrer wasn't ready for the pass. But if he's going to be standing up next to Brett Stewart, well, you've got to be prepared to take it. There's a possession split. And where the game's being played, certainly dominated by the Eels.
The Seagulls still missing Glenn Stewart and Tony Williams, and obviously Jamie Lyon here tonight, but they just haven't been the same side that opened up with a couple of impressive wins under Jeff Tooby in weeks 1 and 2. And another penalty here against the Seagulls. Parramatta a chance from 40 metres out to go on the attack once again to try and extend this score.
Yeah. Not only was it a tough start for Manly, they are yet to play a game at Brookvale Oval. They've been on the road. This is their 5th week away from Brookie. You throw in those injuries and suspensions, and it does leave the Eagles a bit vulnerable.
See how vulnerable they are here. Moi at Cherry Evans. They only just held him up. On a tear was Fui. Now Paulo to Sando. It comes to Hayne. He goes over the top. Ball for Seo. Parramatta turning back the clock. It's like it's 1982 again. What a run by Moi off the restarts. And you'd swear it was Sterling to Kenny to Cronin to Growth.
Well, they've missed those charges from Fui so far this year. That was terrific. And look at the defence. It pulled in. There was no way there for the Manly side to recover from that. George Tafua well in field. Jared Hayne knew it. He just had to get the ball out there. There's Steve Maddai. There's 2 unmarked Parramatta players. They don't come easier than that for Ken Seo.
There's the man who absolutely scattered them and almost scored himself. With all the defence sucked towards the play of the ball, there was space for this man, Ken Seo. What a start to his NRL career he's had.
Well, the moment Fui burst over the top of Cherry Evans there, that did suck in. Any player that was within 10 metres automatically had to rush. He played the ball in front of about 6 Manly players, which left them short. Great awareness from the Eels.
Good look what Chris Sando has before him. The way things are going, you'd back him in. He's hit it well. They can do no wrong. It's 18-6 to Parramatta. And the excitement, Ben Elkin, is palpable here in the stadium.
Well, the fans are going off behind me, but the great ones, it all happens for them in slow motion, doesn't it? And Jared Hayne, with that opportunity to post points, had 3 and 4 defenders in front of him. He had 2 and 3 attackers outside him, and he made the exact right play. Hit his winger on the chest. Another 4 points to Parramatta.
And here's Manna. It's old school stuff, but it works, doesn't it? Run hard, tackle hard, and kick long. For the most part, it's worked. Justin Paul, fresh out there, undoes it and kills the momentum for a moment with a mistake with his first touch.
Not what you want with your first touch. See how the Eels respond. And we haven't been down this end of the field that often. Their completion rates from both sides are outstanding. The charges from the front rowers, Moi and Manna. That's the old Parramatta.
They've certainly needed some of it because in amongst all the stats, they've made the fewest metres on average per game of the 16 teams in the NRL. Boy, Ryan Morgan really has his hands full with Steve Maddai. Maddai will play it just outside the 10. Here's Foran going to Watmo. We have Vic Morrow pushing up in support. Big test here for Parramatta. They've opened up a 12-point lead. They'd like to keep their line intact right here. Stewart coming wide, too wide. The ball in behind David Williams. And Parramatta will be happy they've defended the mistake by Justin Paul.
Yeah, he just hesitated, Brett Stewart. He just wasn't sure who to pass it to. Dean Farray and David Williams on the outside. He went to throw it, held it up just for a fraction. Dean Farray had Willie Tonga in front of him, pulled his hands out of the road. In fact, you watch that over again, it was there to be taken by Farray. He might have been tackled, but you take the ball if it's in front of you.
Parramatta win the scrum, and it's Chase Blair who'll play it just outside the Eels 10. It's Keating goes across to Willie Tonga. His brother Essie Tonga, the younger of the two of them, should be back on deck next week for Parramatta. He was close to being right for this game, but with a hamstring strain, they'll be careful with him. Now a ball out the back from Manor. And a chance for Roberts, who goes at them. Fended away from Cherry Evans. Came to Farray. He didn't wrap him up. Roberts still going. There's a vigour, there's a venom about Parramatta tonight that's been missing in the first month of the season. Here's Sando. Matua cutting back underneath him. They are really asking plenty of questions of this Manly defensive line. Sando thinking field goal. Boy, a rush of blood there, surely. At the 31-minute mark and an 18-6 lead.
Well, if he kicks it, we're going, well, that's okay. It puts them 13 in front. But you're right, at this time of the game, that position on the field, an opportunity to throw one up and put some more pressure on, unless you kick it, it's a dud decision.
Really had Manly struggling defensively once again in that set. Again here, just a cheap penalty in the early tackles of a set with Manly inside their own territory. You'd have thought the bomb was to chip in towards the in-goal area to try and make them work it off their own line. At worst, you get lucky, you might trap somebody and get yourself a goal line dropout. Instead, a real rush of blood. A brain snap field goal choice there by Chris Sando, which was never really close. Here's Foran. Plenty of room to move. They were slow off their line on that right-hand side, Parramatta.
It's a worry for the Eels, the right side. They've come up with a mistake, but Darcy Lussick has turned the ball over. A couple of times now, Manly have got themselves in position, but made cheap errors.
Hasn't had a great game so far, Darcy Lussick here tonight. In fact, his form from the back end of last season, remembering, of course, he finished the season suspended at the Battle of Brookvale. Got himself a long suspension for what happened there that night. He hasn't quite recaptured the form he showed in 2011, off contract and the subject of contract talks, rumours. Maybe it's playing on his mind. Here's Seo looking for a second, taking it to Matter. He'll play it about 35 away. 2 tackles left in this set of 6. Sando comes across to Roberts. He's got Hayne on his outside, dancing, getting away from Cherry Evans. Boy, this will be a new player tonight, Ben Roberts, as far as his footwork and his speed is concerned. Here's Hayne, grubbering one. Well-weighted kick, some pressure here on Stewart. He looks up and he'll get to ground, but they've got him just outside his own goal line.
Now, nice kick, Jared Hayne. Found some space, knew where it was, put the ball where he wanted to, almost a split there. The Eels are letting themselves down. Tackle 1 and 2 after the kick.
It was a good run by Tafua. Now Williams from the opposite wing, trying to back it up. He'll play it midway between his own goal line and the halfway. Nullival. Joe is back after suffering an Achilles problem in the pre-season, which has stopped him from playing until tonight. Back playing against a former club, of course, in the shape of Parramatta. The kick again into one of the Eels. It bounces up here for Chase Blair, who's under some pressure. He did well, though, the young winger. He got there to clean it up on that newly laid turf. They really have had some issues, especially Daly Cherry Evans with his kicking game so far tonight.
Well, just not time. No time to kick it. Good pressure from Matt Keating, and that's whose head the ball bounced off. They did seem to be rushed.
Here's Keating out of dummy half, losing the ball. It was Watmo, was it, over the top, who might have forced the ball loose. And because Cherry Evans is tackled 20 metres towards the Manly line, they'll bring it back out to where the mistake was made.
Keating through the dummy, just got through, and it was Watmo.
Should have been play on from what we saw just there in the replay.
He just punched the ball out.
Watch it once again here. Definitely punched out there by Anthony Watmo. And Matt Keating was certainly thinking that was the case. There were two in the tackle, so it should have been a strip, in fact, and a penalty to Parramatta as opposed to play on for Manly. A break for the Sea Eagles. And it's Watmo, the man involved, who plays it inside the 40. Morrow playing it. In fact, it was Lussick. As Cherry Evans shows it, gets in behind Roberts, who was up slightly in front of Matua, back on the inside of him, but they were able to take him down inside the 20. Now Nullavow takes it towards the uprights. They'll have one more play here. They spread to the left-hand side for an at-first receiver. It comes back to Cherry Evans, though, who grubbers a good one. Hayne under pressure. It bounced up for Anthony Watmo. And you'd think they'll be checking this to see if Hayne was able to force it.
Okay, Paddy.
Well, that can be all that Jared Hayne's claiming. It looked like, well, he certainly slipped Jared Hayne as he came across Cherry Evans' grubber, found the space behind the defensive line. Goes right to the line, Cherry Evans. Manly players onside. Through the legs of Ben Roberts. Jared Hayne looks like he just runs past the ball, slips over.
He gets a hand to it, no doubt about that. There it is there. Well, that first one, that first touch, was it enough to force the ball? One quick look at it by the video referee, who says try. It's a try to Manly and Anthony Watmo, and one look was all that Pat Reynolds, the video referee, required. I would have thought it was a tight one and certainly worthy of another look.
Yeah, there's no doubt he got his hand to it, whether it bounced after it left his hand, whether he got his hand to the ball while it was on the ground. I think we'll see from this angle. We certainly won't. I thought it was a try watching it live, but didn't know his hand had come across the ball. Anthony Watmo scores a try, gets the Eels back into the game. A mistake from the Eels, really allowing that.
Now the man who put the kick in, DCE, try and convert. About 9 in from the touchline, and he's pushed it wide. It'll stay an 8-point margin. As we take a look at this one, once again, Ben, it was worth a look at a different angle this time around. Jared Hayne, boy, that was a bit tighter than you imagined there. What do you think of that one, Ben?
Oh, look, I think it was a try. The thing that got me was that set was going nowhere for Manly. And look how it finished. At the end of the day, Manly got a club culture that sees them never give in. And what Parramatta need to realise here is that if they don't continue to bring their A game, which they have done for the best part of this half, Manly will just stay with them for the 80 minutes and close it out.
Here's Watmo giving on to Farre, grabbed there by Roberts, and also Chase Blair. He went close to the line and did well to stay inside it, doing Farre as Watmo takes it away from the sideline. A couple of minutes left. Certainly plenty of action to talk about here at halftime as Nullavow works it up towards the halfway line. Gets up to go again, and now will play it. It's Morrow as they go wide through 4, and Stewart giving it on to Maddai. Ryan Morgan and Sando still got their hands full on that far side. Big meters once again for Manly. Tafua will play it. Stewart feeds it across to Foran, who puts it up in the air. A good chase from Manly. Pressure on Hayne under the uprights. Desperate to stay in the field of play and manages to do so. But he's grimacing and hobbling and barely able to play the ball. There are huge concerns here for Jared Hayne.
He looked all right. He looks all right now. Pretty courageous stuff from Hayne. Knocked back into the in-goal area. Then has to roll hard. I think he might have just copped a knee, I'm hoping. Just able to twist his way out of the tackle from Matt Ballin and find his way back into the field of play.
Jared Hayne has that knee heavily strapped. He's setting it up a little bit gingerly off the try by Watmo when he was coming across trying to clean it up. Certainly wasn't too steady on his feet off the back of that good catch he made underneath the black dot. We'll keep our eye on him for this final 60 seconds of this first half. We certainly need him on the field. Such a different side with Hayne at the back as Paul takes it forward to be stopped there by Watmo and also Nullivan. Keating goes to Manor up and his face was Lussick. Dropped off the tackle. Another good run by Tim Manor. Starting off the bench tonight, the man that Nathan Hindmarsh is anointed as the skipper-elect for 2013 onwards. A mistake here by Paulo.
Okay, got to hold in there, boys. Hold in there.
And it will give the Sea Eagles, as they stop the clock with 13 seconds remaining, perhaps one crack here to put something on from a scrum win.
Well, they might be 60 metres out, the Sea Eagles. But a shift to the right, I think, would have some nervous Eels fans.
Jerry Evans with the feed, and they come to the short side. Here is Farah. This will just about use up the seconds available to Manly. He might just get it in time. He will. The siren sounds now. The pass goes past Cherry Evans. Foran puts a kick in. Hayne is there. There might be some worries if he gets some open space here, but he doesn't. Stopped by his opposite number, in fact. Brett Stewart helps him back to his feet. And that will do us for the opening 40 minutes. I'm still not convinced that he's 100% or anything like it, Jared Hayne, but it's the Eels who, unlike last week, will get a standing ovation, Ben, as they come from the field at half-time.
Yeah, the fans are much happier this week, Warren. But the Seagulls are a bit sloppy in that first half. But you can just be about guaranteed they'll come out in the second 40 and tighten it right up. The second 40 for the Eels, well, I think it's the most important 40 minutes of their season. They need to come back out. They need to play discipline. Focus on all the one-percenters. Kick chase, marker defence, support play. If they can't do that, if they can't replicate the good things from the first half, they will go down.
Thanks, Ben. We'll come back in a moment to take a look at the first half highlights. Stick around, a lot more to come tonight on Super Saturday. Games as well for New South Wales. And some good numbers, 13 tackles, 5 hit-ups, and an offload as well in that first half. Daly Cherry Evans gets us underway. And it's Jared Hayne who waves away Chris Sando and says, I've got this one. He has to take it himself. And he'll play it inside his own 20. May as well test out that knee immediately, which is what he did. Justin Paul. Gain of about 10. As they move it down the middle of the field. And they struggled to do that in the first month of the season, but they've come out firing tonight against this Sea Eagles side. And dare I say it, their forwards outplayed the Manly pack in that first 40 minutes. Here is Paul. Working it forward, stopped there by Nullival. They'll have one more here from just inside their own territory. Keating goes across to Roberts, a switch back to Hayne. He kicks with no pressure on him. As a result, it's a high floating one, a difficult ball for Brett Stewart to handle. But as he always does, invariably coming down with it, he makes a nice catch and will play it just outside the Manly 20.
Well, he started the half with a run and now he's kicked the football with that bad leg, so all good signs from Jared Hayne.
Reassuring for the Parramatta fans as They work it forward, Manly, through to Fua. They'll play it for Ballon. Comes across. It's King who will get to his feet. Plays it almost back at the 40-metre line. Now Morrow going to Bura. Coming across. Was it Joseph Paulo who made an impact with Morgan underneath him? There was a chance there for a big shot, which is exactly what Paulo put on. Watch it again as he comes across. And he slammed Bura to the turf and the ball came loose and Parramatta get it in good field position. And Yella Lasalo is out there to begin this second half. And it's Nathan Hindmarsh whose place he's taken for the moment. Sando feeds it. Keating from the back of the scrum gives it off to Roberts. A little juggle there from Willie Tonga. And now Maddai. We heard a call of Maddai being offside. He likes to jam in and put a shot on. He was looking for one right there. But there was a call from the touch judge. Steve Maddai stares daggers at him.
Well, he realised what damage Tim Manor did in the first half. The man that had the ball in his hands, Maddai, from a long way out came in, but he was called offside very early in the piece. Chris Sando will be confused on what to do. Finally he puts it out.
Parramatta tap it. Here is Justin Paul going towards Nullavow and also Bura. A chance for the Eels to open up a big advantage once again. Here is Manor. About 5 metres out when he'll play it. Good fast play the ball as well. It goes from Paulo across to Roberts. He grubbers. A chase for Blair. It's just a bit too big.
Yeah, just too much on the kick. The idea was right. He had the ball turning away from the Manly defence, aimed at just a yard too big. Chase Blair couldn't get there. Don't want to waste those opportunities again. If you're going to put a kick on early in the tackle count, you've got to make it count.
Now Bura works it away for Manly. He had 44% of the ball in the first half. And now Nullavow out the back for Cherry Evans. Flat pass. He put Watmo under pressure. Tonga had a real chance to get a result there for Parramatta. Now Farre turns it back on the inside. And it's Vic Morrow who will play it. About 5 into Eels territory. Ballon gives it to King. A chance to get back in behind the play the ball. Paulo was caught flat-footed on the line. And here they are just outside the 30. Cherry Evans kicking for the in-goal area. It bounces up for Hayne. He has to get to ground and does so with Dean Farre coming down on top of him. And Willie Tonga gets back there. Still can't believe that they had that moment in attack in the first half and a couple of metres out from the line had nobody at dummy half. Here is Sia. Keating comes across for Taniela Lasalo, who's been a fixture in this forward pack under the coaching of Stephen Kearney. Now Paul, and Manor pushing up with him. He's just inside the 30 on the last. They'll be kicking from deep inside their own territory here. Sando it is. He puts it down, finds the turf. It bounces straight to Tafua. He brings it back to Morgan. And also Ken Sio in a good position for Manly to start this set of 6 from.
That was a good defensive set from Manly. And he made it to the 30, the Eels. Brett Stewart, quick play the ball.
Keating had them flat-footed and goes a long way as well. He picks up 15 metres. He plays it just outside the Parramatta red stripe as Cherry Evans goes across to Watmo. A try scorer in the first half, just before the break, in fact, which closed the gap. Stewart, quick pass in behind Tafua. Did well, did George Tafua going back. The 20-year-old will play it here on the last as they work it away from a sideline. It means there's pressure on Kieran Foran. He got the kick away. Hayne taken there by Cherry Evans. 10 out from his own line. Roberts, a spread. A chance to go wider. Still, he throws a ball into touch. A mistake on the second tackle, and it gives Manly a great chance.
He loves throwing that spiral pass. The right to left. Willie Tonga couldn't reach it. There's no winger outside him.
Stay with us here. Bring it in. Arms around.
He's given Manly
Right there, Darren.
a perfect opportunity to reduce this 8-point deficit.
Certainly is his favourite play, the cutout ball. Ben Roberts, it hurts Parramatta for the moment. We'll see if it costs them points. Here's Foran to play it just outside the 10. Stewart comes across to Nick Skinner. He made his debut last week against the Dragons. He plays it for Ballon, 5 away. Cherry Evans showing it, nobody falling for a dummy. Hindmarsh is back out there. It was only a quick break. Barely 7 minutes, and a knockdown here by Lasalo will ensure Manly keep possession.
Just a couple of metres in from where they packed the last scrum. They'll fancy their chances here, Manly.
Wait for the go, guys.
Okay, tuck in tight. Wait till you hear out. Don't break early. Arms right around. Second
See
row
if
is
they've
arm
got a
around
set
your mate.
play up their sleeve. Here is Cherry Evans. Looks towards Foran at first receiver. And that's where he goes. This time Foran back on the inside for Stewart. Good work defensively there by Paulo. Lasalo was there and so was Hayne. Slow play the ball. King takes them on. Just bumps it towards the line. Nothing doing for the captain and front rower. Comes to Foran. Out the back he goes. Stewart has to wait. A wide ball to Fua, who dives for the line. And he has a try for Manly, the first of his career. Didn't seem to be a lot happening as Manly came to the left-hand side, and Stewart had to wait for the pass, but Ryan Morgan was on his bike and headed in field, and that opened up a huge space for Manly.
Well, Chris Sando couldn't cover them all. Ken Seo was left posted. The cutout ball works for Manly. It brought grief for Parramatta on the other side. Ben Roberts might be digging a hole in the in-goal area after he really gifted the Seagulls the points there.
They have so many issues on this right-hand side of the defensive line. Parramatta, Penrith carved them in this corner of the field last week. And a mistake by Roberts gives Manly the chance, and they take it with both hands gladly. And now Cherry Evans, a tough one here from the sideline, but he can get the Seagulls back within 2.
And you would just keep coming down this side of the field.
Absolutely.
Sides tend to go away from things that work. Manly made plenty of ground in that first half.
Cherry Evans, the kick is a beauty. Right over the black dot. 18-16 downstairs to Ben.
Well, I've been saying plenty about Jarryd Hayne across the coverage, but his opposite goes okay too, doesn't he? Brett Stewart. The lesson Jarryd Hayne could take from Brett Stewart and Billy Slater is that they keep themselves in the game. They keep themselves busy because they know the more touches they have, the more chance they are of doing something brilliant. We've already seen Brett Stewart score 1 try. Now we set one up. He's well and truly in the game, boys.
Yes, he is. Really gifted an opportunity there, which Stewart had to pass behind him, had to wait for it. There shouldn't have been anything happening, but Morgan and Sando were headed infield looking at the decoy runners, and Ken Seo was posted on his own. They need to do something in a hurry here, the Eels. And Manly will keep coming back at them. This near side of the field in the second half as King will play it just outside the Seagulls 30. Ballon kicking out of dummy half. Doesn't do a lot of it, but chips in every now and again. And it's Chase Blair to bring it back. He runs towards Skinner. And the chase with Ballon doing it down the middle of the park was a good one. Hayne will play it. Comes from Keating away to Seo. Not for the young wingers tonight. CEO grabbing a try to Fua, who, as we said earlier, played his junior football for Wentworthville. Like so many Sea Eagles in recent times, made his way from Parramatta across to the northern beaches. They go wide. Here's Tonga with a bit of room to move. A chance to show off the footwork, but the pass goes to ground, and Jason King cleans it up for Manly.
Well, he just couldn't get high enough to throw the ball, Willie Tonga. He got it himself in between a couple of Manly players. They showed some great footwork, but the pass was really never on. Plenty of Manly players dropping back in cover there.
Here is Bureau down the short side for a settler within 42 of the Parramatta line. Maddai will double that up and go close to going into touch. Tafua got there to stop him. Oh, and now there's a problem here for Steve Maddai, who has blood splattered everywhere. Is it Steve Maddai? He certainly has blood all over him.
I think it's Ryan Morgan, who had a head clash
boy
with Mitchell Allgood.
Cut right on the edge, the inside of the right eyebrow there. Here he is, just a little bump of the head, and it split him quickly, didn't it? Steve Maddai ended up with blood everywhere.
There's the clash with Morgan and Allgood. So he's copped it twice, Ryan Morgan.
But a trainer, Craig Kendrick, desperate to try and clean him up here. And the kick goes in the air. Back underway. CEO takes it just outside his own line. We'll play it there for Sando. A good kick by Manly for Parramatta to work it away from deep inside their own territory. Clinging to this 2-point lead at the moment. Lasalo going sideways, and they've used up 3 plays. Here's Hindmarsh, a little shift across to Roberts. They're up in his face quickly. He had to go to ground. They've used up 4, and they're just outside their 10. They need something right here. It's Allgood who puts his hand up. They'll be kicking from a long way inside their own territory here. It's Hayne, who was collected by Bureau when the kick went in. He got a good kick away, though. Plenty on it, despite the attention of Jamie Bureau, and Stewart has it on his own side of halfway.
Well, that's the second time in this second half that they've been able to jam Parramatta and keep them to inside their 30 for 5 tackles. Certainly a big difference between the two sides there.
Maddai will play it 40 away from the Parramatta line. It goes across to Cherry Evans, gives it to Watmo, gets to the line, and he's taken down about 25 out from the Parramatta line. Here is Cherry Evans, comes back across. It's Skinner who will work it inside the 20. Ballon going back to the right-hand side. Cherry Evans, a kick taken there by Blair. They'll catch him in the in-goal area. Goal line dropout coming up, and Manly a chance to take the lead.
Well, not many sides do it better than Manly. Last week against the Dragons, they went down, but gee, they got into the grind with the Dragons and almost fought their way to victory. They've started this second half. The chase on the back of their kicks. They've forced Parramatta to kick from inside their 20 a couple of times, and now they get the repeat set. A nice kick from Cherry Evans.
Sando's goal line dropout goes down to be played off the boot by David Williams, who brings it back. And he'll be stopped about 35 away on the first tackle. 15 gone in this second half, and Manly 6 points closer than they were at the break. Ballon goes to Foran. Plenty of players in motion around him. Kite was going back on the angle, stopped there by Hindmarsh. Ryan Morgan That tape around the head, a long way from his centre position, and Jamie Buhrer goes straight through it. It was Chris Sando playing one end from the wing. Buhrer went straight through him, and Manly have a lead.
Well, their ability to keep the pressure on the Eels. Kieran Foran to the line, sucks in 2 defenders. It was Taniela Lasalo coming out of the line. It was Joseph Paulo that came out of the line, left Chris Sando one-on-one with Jamie Buhrer, and he wasn't good enough to pull him down.
Jamie Buhrer gets his first 4-pointer of 2012, and Manly, twice they've come to this edge in the second half, and twice they had tries and lots of finger pointing and some animated discussion behind the line from Parramatta, but they have massive issues on this right-hand side. Ryan Morgan, the right centre, made the previous tackle defending in the middle of the field. Chris Sando is suddenly playing one end from the wing up against the back rowers of Manly. He was no chance on the line there to make a tackle on Jamie Buhrer.
Not when they isolated him. Kieran Foran does it better than most, doesn't he? His ability to suck in.
Off the uprights, and it stays out.
The defenders there.
Jamie Buhrer. Manly lead by 2 with 17 gone in the second half. We go downstairs to Ben Ikin.
Well, he's not only tough, Kieran Foran, he's smart, isn't he? It's been a real tradesman-like performance from him tonight. He's kept himself in the game, hasn't tried to be brilliant. And like his side, they've just worn down the opposition until they've got the appropriate field position to really have a crack. Well, he got it there and he made the best of it. What a champion young player.
Joseph Paulo made his way off the field after that try was scored. He was the man who came out of the line on Kieran Foran. There's a lack of communication as Manly make a mistake. Nick Skinner dropping the ball and giving the Eels a chance.
Just slightly coming away on the young forward's grasp. The boy from Wagga Wagga. Will give Parramatta a chance to hit back and once again assume the lead. He has been all Manly as far as the scoring chances are concerned. Parramatta really the only had the one set inside Manly's 20 in the second half off a penalty. They put an early kick in from Roberts for Blair, which didn't work out. They'll get a chance here at the back end of this set. Morgan it is who will play it just outside the 20. Lasalo takes it to the line there of King and also Kite. Here's Keating floating, linking up with Sando, looking for Roberts. It was a staccato play, wasn't it? Nobody on the right page with each other right there. Perhaps the defensive issues have affected their confidence in attack. Certainly was all right in the first half, their offense. Now Hindmarsh gets them going back in the right direction. 4 plays gone. They go back to the left-hand side. A ball at the line. And they'll play it about 5 metres out. Moi it was on the last. It comes back from Roberts. Here is Sando. Coming wider still for Hayne. He goes across to Morgan. Not much doing there, and a very meek end to the set of 6 from Parramatta.
No, it didn't start well and finished worse. No kick on the back of that set. Happy to run the ball, but really none of the inside runners did anything to shift the Manly defence. It was an easy mark there on Ryan Morgan.
Here is Kite. We'll work it across the 20-metre line. They'll play it here for Ballon. Now Buhrer runs towards Morgan and Sando. They've got some help underneath from Casey Maguire, who is just on the field here for Stephen Kearney, going to his bench once again. An offload from Matai. 2 tries in this second half to the visitors. In this Men of League Heritage round, the 2 teams who played in the 82 and 83 grand finals. The Eels winning both of them, of course, as Cherry Evans' kick goes down in behind Ken Seo. He looks up and sees Kieran Foran leading the chase. He got past Foran. He took a bit of speed off the winger. And as a result, he was stopped there by Bureau and Tafua.
Let's just watch their first couple of tackles. This is where Manly have it all over the Eels, off the back of their kicking game. They give the Eels nothing.
Moi. And a bounce off the defence there of Watmo and also Kite. And now Keating goes himself from dummy half. Picked off there by Ballin and also Watmo. Now Roberts feigned a kick getting out of dummy half, and he went straight through them. Hayne back on the inside. What a piece of play. Jared Hayne scores for Parramatta, and the Eels again find themselves back in front.
Well, that'd make him feel better, Ben Roberts. A terrific piece of footwork. He was almost unstoppable in that first half. He was bouncing off tackles. He beat Jerry Evans there, and after the long ball that he threw, that really, well, the Seagulls obliged by scoring 2 tries after his long ball into touch. He makes up for it. Finds Jared Hayne on the inside. Gets the Eels back in front. He had some making up to do after that pass, but he's gone away to do it.
Yes, he has. Jared Hayne, a double, his second against the Seagulls in his career, and 22-20 the scoreline, with a kick to come from right in front for this man, Chris Sander. They had to find something in reply to the flow of points and the momentum which had gone all Manly's way in this second half. Possession had almost evened up, 50% each, after being very much in favour of Parramatta in that first 40. And we know the defence can't withstand long periods on its own line. But they hit back and hit back well. Good recovery by Ben Roberts. He puts Hayne in, 24-20 it is. We watch it again. It was nifty footwork, wasn't it, Ben, for Roberts to sneak in behind the line?
It was very good from Ben Roberts. You know, we've been getting stuck into the right side defence for the Parramatta Eels tonight, but Manly down that right edge haven't been much better. Daly, Cherry Evans and Dean Farray have had their issues. That's where I'd be going if I was the Eels, playing middle third, then going left with Jared Hayne. And I think they can have a bit of success there.
Well, it might be an issue for Farray, of course, who's played the last few weeks on the left-hand side, filling in for Matt High. Well, with no Jamie Lyon tonight, he's out there on the right-hand side, and perhaps that combination with Cherry Evans and also David Williams on his outside, not quite where Jeff Tuvey would like it to be. Here's Hindmarsh poking his nose through the line. Roberts again, kicking from inside the 40. Going early in the tackle count. Stewart, as a result, got to chase it back to his own goal line. He looks up. Oh, and Hindmarsh and Lasala got to him. A real rib check. He bounces back to his feet. Okay, what a hit by Hindy.
Well, hasn't that revved the boys up? The Eels off their line. Matt-Eye.
It certainly got the crowd into it. They've got the lead, and the fans have found their voice. Here's Bureau running to the veteran. Plays it for Ballin, who turns it back on the inside for Kite. And he'll play it here on the last, just on their own side of halfway. Goes back to Cherry Evans. His kick will find Jared Hayne, who plays it nicely off the body. Calm and composed, as he usually is. And he plays it on the first tackle just outside the Parramatta 30. CO now. Runs towards Ballin and Kite. Maguire working things from dummy half. Going across to Tonga. Now Keating will assume the duties. He goes to Hindmarsh. They had just that 7-minute break to begin the second half, and he was out there very quickly. Here's Sando. Kicking into the back of Jamie Bureau. And it might have been a close run thing for Nick Skinner to have been onside there. But it's play on is the call. They're going to say he wasn't in front of Bureau when the ball ricocheted off the back rower. And Manly have it at the halfway line.
Now, terrible kick there from Chris Sando. They needed better than that.
Foran to the line again. Lussick bouncing off Chris Sando, who goes to the legs, and Ryan Morgan helps take him to ground. Ballon down the short side. Here's Foran taking them on. Testing out the defence there of Casey Maguire. He made a good legs tackle. Last play at the 20. Cherry Evans will put it in the air. Some pressure here on Chase Blair, who goes up, makes a nice catch. And he's cut around the ankles by Brent Kite. Roberts from dummy half. Parramatta back to their 20. They've done better getting out of their own end in their last few possessions. And the early kick of the last set certainly didn't hurt them, rather. As Lasalo brings it back to the 40. They've done well once again here in this set. Roberts early in the count once again. Will kick it in behind Williams, the Wolfman, getting back and tracking it down at his own 10-metre line. Looks to bring it back to the middle to find a hole, but Hindmarsh is there again, and he closes the gap once again. What an effort. Williams knew there was a bit of space in the middle of the field, but Hindmarsh was desperate to get there. Just doesn't know when to say die. And he's used up some gas. Now Buhrer getting out of dummy half, going back to Cherry Evans. Here's Kite. Manly have enjoyed these second phase situations. Good tackle there by Tonga on Nick Skinner. Cherry Evans, though, they were flat, and he took it to them, picked up about 15 metres. Now it goes across, and a chip in behind them by Kieran Foran. Might have copped a knock in the collision there after the kick, Kieran Foran. And Chase Blair it is, will play it here for Parramatta. Kieran Foran certainly is struggling at the moment as Jared Hayne works it back towards Foran's side of the field.
Well, he's coming from the field, Kieran Foran.
Immediately. It might be a cork to the thigh or perhaps on the hip. Maybe it's a hamstring strain, the way he was reaching at it then. It's
got to be a hamstring strain. For him to put his hand up straight away to signal to the bench immediately, and he's gone up the tunnel, Kieran Foran.
Now Sando from inside the 40, thinking 40-20. It bounces on Williams. A brilliant save for Manly. He had to get back there and keep it in play. It was going out. And now Stewart wears a shot from Willie Tonga.
And Chris Sando up there to chase his kick. That was a terrific one. Made up for the last one. And again, they've backed it up. Gee, they've fixed up this part of their game. The chase has been strong. The early tackles have made it tough for Manly, who are now going to have to do it without Kieran Foran, you'd think.
They can't take a trick at the moment, Manly, as far as injuries are concerned. Jamie Lyon out tonight with an elbow injury. Glenn Stewart, of course, still to return, and now another of the big guns, Kieran Foran, off with what looked to be a hamstring strain. They'll be hoping it's not a bad one. The kick from Cherry Evans from inside his own 40, down the middle of the park. It goes straight to Jared Hayne, who brings it back. Not a great chase from Manly. They might pay a price. He gets to wind up, eventually cut down there by Jason King. Now Seo. He takes it down. They lead by 4. They won't be thinking field goal here as we get towards the 10-minute remaining mark. They'll be looking for a big lead. 3 plays left in this set of 6. They go back to the left-hand side. Manor standing in the tackle, hoping to get an offload away. They wrap him up through Kite and also Watmo. Here's Roberts showing it inside, going to Hayne. Cut out ball across to Blair. He does a 360. A real pivot, and then he's chopped down there by David Williams, 5 metres away. Here's the last. Hayne, a chip, chasing through a Sando, taken dead by Jamie Buhrer. And in chasing through in the kick, Chris Sando almost collided head first with the upright.
Well, somehow Jared Hayne found some space and the ball was able to get to ground there, so they do get a result. When he first chipped that ball, here's Kieran Foran. Doesn't seem to be, yeah, he just felt it then. His kicking leg. Immediately hand up. Para get the result. Cherry Evans gets us restarted.
Played off the boot by Ryan Morgan, who brings it back. Parramatta 10 minutes away perhaps from causing a big upset. I know there are players missing for Manly, but given Parramatta's start of the season, this is an upset in the making of some proportions. Here is Matua. He's 5 metres out from the Manly line. Keating waits at dummy half, and Sando's at first receiver. He steps off the left. Comes back towards Ryan Morgan. Nothing doing there. There are plenty of numbers for Manly, so he just dumps it off to Morgan and says, here, you take it forward, and we'll reset. They've got 2 plays left as Keating goes across to Hindmarsh. He'll work it towards the uprights, trying to get a ball away. There was trouble had he been able to. 5 metres out. He plays it for Keating. Here's Roberts chipping it back towards Jared Hayne in a contest. It went to Jason King. He's offside.
Jared, you keep it. You keep it.
It's not playing into me first. It's not off you into your own player.
You can check that.
Well, Brett Stewart claiming that it came off Jared Hayne. They'll kick the goal and make it 6 points, the Eels.
Here it is again as we take a look at Roberts chipping it back. Hayne was certainly onside. Does Hayne get a touch? I don't think he did.
I think he missed it. I think it hit the leg of Brett Stewart as he jumped. I think their hands missed it altogether.
Hayne was certainly up there contesting the ball, so couldn't make a case that Stewart was taken off it illegally. Came off his leg straight to Jason King, who really had no option but to play at it. Chris Sando from beside the uprights.
I don't think it missed all hands, just came off Stewart. Jason King offside. They've upped their energy level, the Eels, after the Ben Roberts split. Giving it Jared Hayne, it did look like opening 15 minutes of this half that Manly would just grind the Eels into another loss. He's been able to spark something, Roberts.
Sando makes it 6 the difference. 26-20. With just on 7 minutes remaining here at Parramatta. You'd be thinking a short kickoff here, Ben Ikin for Cherry Evans. We'll wait and see if Parramatta are ready for it.
Well, what have they got? 7.5 minutes, and they need a try. They need 6 points. They want to try something. They're going to have to do it without Kieran Foran. It's that right hammy. You guys guessed correctly. I just went up to the sheds. He won't be returning, so it'll be interesting to see how long he ends up on the sidelines.
Well, they won't go short. In fact, they'll go long. And the kick goes down to Seo. See if they can force a mistake. Manly, as they usually do, will back their defence to limit Parramatta's metres right here. Maguire. And imagine 7 remaining. Parramatta will play safety first football from their own end. Moy's always a good option. Turned underneath there by Roberts. He was almost through as Tonga is grabbed here by Watmo. 4 tackles gone. Keating feeds it back, and again they'll kick early. Hayne it is, puts that boot on it. That big right boot of his, and it bounces up at the 10-metre line of Manly for Tafua, who brings it back to be stopped there by Matua and also Morgan.
Oh, their chase has been enormous for the last 15 minutes. Oh, he's copped him high. Rennie Matua, Brett Stewart stepping into the tackle.
Just hung the arm out there, and Brett Stewart right on the bottom of the jaw. A little bit more force in that tackle than it first appeared. And I think you'll see Rennie Matua placed on report here.
It's clear card, I can't there.
I understand Brett Stewart laying there as he was.
I'm not going to get
Because
into it, mate.
those shots on the jaw really have the potential to knock a player out pretty quickly.
Yeah, it was clean, wasn't it? First contact was the head. to stay on. They're down some key men. This is a good start for them. Penalty.
Cherry Evans going for plenty of metres, does well on the kick full line. Stewart is okay and will continue on with 5.5 remaining. And it's Manai who takes it forward. There'll be no secrets about where Manly will be coming to. You can imagine they'll work it towards the uprights and split the field in two, left to right, and they'll come back to the left. Lussick playing it. Cherry Evans for King, working it down within range of the Parramatta 20-metre line. They've used up 3 plays to get to this point. Here's Cherry Evans going across to Farah, who got away from Tonga, who was up in front of the line. Roberts made the stop, though. Play number 5, Cherry Evans showing it. Here is King working it forward. They're fanned to the left-hand side. Stewart, 2 off the play the ball. They go back to the short side, though. The pass goes into touch. It wasn't a great one behind Williams, and they don't come back out to test Parramatta's right edge defence.
Well, that's what sides do. They forget what works. They go away from what works. They went down the left twice in that set. The last time resulting in that. We've got Ryan Morgan and Chris Sando, Ken Seo out here wondering when they're coming and what they're going to do when they do come.
And they'll be doing handstands. They didn't have to defend a tackle on their side of the field in that set of 6. Surprising from the Sea Eagles. Here's Manor. He'll play it just outside the Eels 20. Hindmarsh. 28 tackles, 12 carries of the ball here tonight. Couple of huge tackles off kick chases in this second half. The two are fighting for every inch. They go across to Roberts. Well, he was thinking about a kick, and he went to Moi instead. Still running. Fui goes to Stewart and Williams. And he'll play it 15 metres out. Here's the last. Sando, a chance at field goal, and he kicked it. Chrissy Sando makes it a 7-point game, and the Eels are close now.
What a run by Fui, and what a sight in the backfield. Went to kick the ball, Ben Roberts, and didn't want to hold it up any longer. He bursts out of a couple of tackles through Cherry Evans. It takes the back 2 to stop him, and then with all the time in the world, Chris Sando slots the 1-pointer. Here's the short kickoff.
It went to Matua, no result for Manly. And if Parramatta can get through this set of 6, know that Manly have to score twice, the game will be theirs. Roberts, they might end it right here. Comes to Stewart, cut down just outside the 20. The Eels full of running. Keating goes to Sando. He lobs a pass to Hayne. He puts a kick in, chasing through. It sits up. Tafur under pressure. He grounds it. And that should be enough for Parramatta here tonight.
Well, if it wasn't going to be points, that is the next best result. Jared Hayne able to get it into the in-goal area, or certainly have George Tafua going backwards. There's the field goal from Chris Sando that puts it out to 7 points. And another very good set from Parramatta. Ben Roberts, well, hasn't he been a handful with the ball in his hands? He might have made some mistakes. The short drop out hasn't worked. And that will be it for the Eels.
Now the celebrations have begun at Parramatta Stadium. And why wouldn't they? Last week they were throwing money at the players in disgust at what they showed against Penrith. The fireworks have already gone off. And tonight they might be throwing money on the field for a different reason, because they might think the players are worthy of a pay rise for what they've showed here tonight. You wondered when it was going to come after the first month, and Parramatta are on the board for 2012.
No wonder they look a happy bunch. I can't remember a side that has been under so much pressure than the Eels. Ben Roberts, well, only one blemish to his game. That almost cost the Eels the game. But his footwork and his running of the football tonight.
He really has caused some problems for the Manly defence. Crescendo with the 2. It's 29-20. And the Seagulls will be in no hurry to come back for the restart here. Parramatta had won just 15 of their previous 18. The 2 wins and a draw in that sequence. Their worst stretch of results since 95 and 96. And they lost 19 out of 21 in a sequence over the course of those 2 seasons. And they've broken their duck in 2012 here tonight. What a win. Parramatta, they do matter. In 2012, 29-20, they've beaten the Seagulls.
Well, they came out of the blocks tonight. They got an early try. They led 18-10 at half-time. But there were some worrying signs as the Eagles scored the opening 2 to grab the lead. But a couple of magic pieces of play. Ben Roberts involved in a few of them. His footwork, his ability to beat defenders tonight was a treat to watch. Some of the work from the forwards, charges from Mana and Moi, the defence from Hindmarsh in the second half. It was what they were looking for.
I could say that again. A remarkable performance off the back of what happened here last week. Last week they booed them from the field. Tonight they will cheer them. Hardly a Parramatta fan has left this stadium. After such a lean streak, they wanted to soak up every moment of this win against one of the arch rivals as well. There's always a bit of feeling between these 2 clubs. It's the blue and gold to have prevailed here tonight. It's time to hear from a couple of the stars right now. Let's go downstairs to Ben.
Yeah, I'm here with Parramatta's winningest fullback of this fine Saturday evening. Well, you're back to putting smiles on faces, Jared.
Yeah, it's been a long couple of weeks and a hard couple of weeks. So yeah, it's a big sign of relief tonight and to get the 2 points. And what about the fans? Seriously,